Hi Gude und herzlich willkommen. So, wir sind hier, wo wir in der letzten Episode aufgehört haben. Wir müssen diese Kontaktperson am Pier 9 treffen. Also wir sind am Pier 9 wohl. Hier oben steht es auch, nördlicher White Street Hafen. Pier 9 White Street. Dann schauen wir uns mal die Kiste an.
Among the fleet of crates, I spy one out of step. Whoever had nailed this one shut had done a hack job, leaving behind a wobbly lid and a crack just big enough for a finger.
Okay, versuchen wir so mal aufzubrechen. Hat gereicht.
I stick my finger through the hole, angling past jagged slivers and crooked nails until I find a solid grip. I pull, fighting the groaning, shuddering lid. It gives up with a pop.
Was haben wir denn hier? Ein Schlagring. Lässt sich bei einer gescheiterten Kraftpaketprüfung noch einmal würfeln. Okay. Und Kiste mit Teilen, Metallbolzen verschiedener Größen. Wichtige Teile zum Bauen und Warten von Maschinen in allen industriellen Bereichen. Ja, nehmen wir doch mal alles mit. Wie hat er das jetzt sortiert? Ich habe es jetzt mal automatisch sortiert. Mal ins Handschuhfach. So viel Stauraum habe ich gar nicht. So, und dann gucken wir uns mal dieses Symbol an.
Strokes of paint form an innocuous symbol of a rat paw matching the sketch Cress gave me. This is the right place.
Und hier erscheint Popper.
Shopping for trouble? We're just sightseeing real close.
Jeepers! Gia?
A pauper. One of the murderous specters slithering freely through every pipe, waiting to brutalize passers-by. If you listen to the stories. Scary as he is, he's more sentinel than specter.
Aber diese blauen Augen, da ist schon was dran.
Looking for you, actually. We're friends of Cress Carter. She sent us to ask about a missing car.
Cress Carter?
Strange. Cress's name should mean something. Either he's greener than he looks or he doesn't trust my word. I might need something to loosen his tongue.
Okay, jetzt haben wir hier einige Auswahlmöglichkeiten. Herausfinden, wer er ist, fragen, vor wem er den Eingang schützt, nach dem Auto fragen, herausfinden, ob er Cress kennt, ihm ein Angebot machen. Ich würde sagen, wir sprechen erstmal mit ihm.
Name's Gia Randazzo. Who are you if you don't know Cress Carter?
Maybe I know her. Don't know you. Neither of you.
Well, if what you need is an introduction, my name is Dr. Eleanor Reinhardt. Pleased to meet you.
Don't shake hands with strangers, let alone topsiders.
He threatens to disappear back into the shadows and leave us without a way in. But then he pauses.
Doctor? What type of doctor?
Oh, theoretical athonics. Now, I don't have the experience one of you Aethoniers have with the practical side, but I do know my way around an Aether core. I was actually hoping I could find out a little more about maintenance techniques down here.
You know anything about hydraulic engineering?
No, but I'm a quick study.
Okay, wegen der Wassertechnik nochmal nachfragen. Ja, wir gehen mal von oben nach unten durch.
We're not looking for trouble. Like I said, just need info.
Could be a couple of terriers and maybe some topsiders looking for some fun.
Just look at her. And if either of us were terriers, you and I both know this conversation would have gone very differently.
You're right, she doesn't. Too shiny. Looking to see how the other half live, eh, sweetheart?
I beg your pardon. I'm not a terrier, whatever those are, and I am not some tourist.
A terrier, sweetheart, are the ugly bastards who keep us Aethoniers in line. That's how I got these. Every slip-up and slowdown adds to the contract, and I mark each one so they don't get from me a second more.
There's so many.
I'll be paying off my time till the day I die, and hopefully not a moment longer.
Okay, wir fragen jetzt mal wegen dieser Wassertechnik.
You're having a problem with your water supply?
War's changed priorities for the Undercity. Water's being rerouted, and there's not enough of the good stuff to go around.
Okay.
Is it a filtration issue? Something pressure-related? Or does it have to do with the temperature regulation?
Don't know. Sounds like you might know a thing or two, though.
The pauper sinks deep into thought. We might as well be having a conversation with a statue.
Friends with Crest Carter, huh? All right.
Okay, also
The
wir
armed
müssen
shadow stares blankly
ihn
towards
nicht
us.
bestechen.
His pale blue glass eyes casting unknown intent at me and the kid before pounding the space behind him.
And watch yourself.
He melts back into the industrial decay behind him, never once taking his eyes off us. His disembodied voice echoing out one last time.
Or you'll see us again real soon.
Every darkened cranny becomes a potential peephole while we stand there. Like walking to confession blindfolded in a packed cathedral. I can feel hundreds of unseen eyes watching, waiting for a single misstep.
He gave me the heebie-jeebies. Do you think he...
She's interrupted by a gush of stale air riding the echoes of countless thumping Aether machines.
Alexander und Maria.
Topsiders, why are you here? Hurry, out with it, we're busy.
Lexi, shh. If Harold let them through.
Okay, sie sagt, Popper heißt Harold.
Harold's been wrong before.
Hello, I'm Maria. This is my husband, Alexander.
Hello, nice to meet you. I'm Nellie. This is Gia. We're not here to bother you while you work on... Oh, is that part of an Aether substructure power converter? I've always wondered about the older infrastructure.
Nellie, that's not why we're...
Right. Gia's friend, Cress, she's an Aether also. She sent us here because we need your help to find this car of ours that has some important stuff hidden away inside.
Too desperate, too vulnerable. I lob a cough towards Nellie, hoping she'd quit her rambling so I could get a word in.
Chris sent you? That girl. Fine, let's hear it.
Okay, fragen, woher sie Cress kennen, nach ihrer Arbeit fragen. Ich frage mal nach der Arbeit.
These tunnels.
They're so big. Where did they go? Everywhere? Can you get to any part of the island from here? Have you ever gotten lost?
I've known too many smugglers who've disappeared trying to find their way through Aether rat tunnels. Success promises an unseen and untraceable smuggling route. Failure costs you your life.
No. Aether rats don't get lost. We can smell our way through miles of...
Lexi, would you cut that out, please? It's an innocent enough question.
This tunnel can get you through most of the barony. If you know where you are going. But don't try it. You'll end up stuck in the dark or taking a one-way trip to old New York.
Okay, dann fragen wir doch nochmal, woher sie Cress
You
kennen.
and Cress close.
We're Aether rats. We're all related. One big happy family.
Okay.
Lexi, don't be an ass. They're Cress's friends. At least be nice for her sake.
She's running around with all these topsiders causing trouble. And now she risks the three of us. She should know better.
It's a subtle movement. Alexander sends an involuntary glance towards Maria's abdomen before matching my eyes. I couldn't be sure if he was angrier that I caught him, or that he slipped something so personal. A 35 Chimera, dumped recently. Have you seen anything? Alexander breaks his scowl with an impish eye and a cracked smile. He knows exactly what we want, and he is going to wring us dry for it.
Maybe. We'll need something in return, though.
Ich würde gerne da mal reingehen. Würde mir das gerne mal anschauen wollen.
Harold says you know hydraulic engineering. Is this true? Can you create substitute filtration parts?
With the right equipment and a blueprint, maybe? I don't have any on hand, though. I'd also need time to formulate possible solutions.
Maybes are not enough. We need working parts, now. Eli's new war means that all non-essential requisitions are delayed. That includes water filtration equipment for the Undercity. Now, our water is becoming Aether-tainted.
We can't afford any more of us getting sick. Eli's terriers are already forcing longer and longer shifts to compensate for the fewer numbers.
That's terrible. Of course we'll help. We'll get you everything you need. How do we...
Hang on a sec. Before we agree to anything, I need to know what we're getting into. How much...
Water filtration parts, new ones. 1 or 2 crates should do the trick. The more the better.
Okay, Fragen, warum sich die Ersatzteile verspätet haben, Fragen, wie das Problem angefangen hat.
How'd any part of White Street lose out on clean water? I thought that's all Eli cared about, aside from his wars.
Our water is kept separate from the rest of the Baron's supply. That way, terriers can reward us with clean water if we run low.
With our own supply of fresh water becoming smaller, we have to use water tainted by Aether use. Or find ways to make the terriers give us extra.
Why would Eli risk the lives of his Aethoniers? You keep his islands afloat. If you all start falling sick, his islands are going to start dropping too.
We've asked his terriers the same question. All we get back is, get back to work.
Okay, Fragen, warum sich die Ersatzteile verspätet haben.
Aethoniers should have priority. But Eli's leaving you without water?
Should be, but the Baron's quartermaster says the war means less for us and more for the army.
He's a good man at heart. We have leeway with him, more than with the other officers, but...
Natsuko's a soldier, not a man. He's choked us from the supplies we need for years. Now, with the war, he has every excuse to squeeze tighter.
You'll have those parts. But I'll want to know where my car is as soon as we're back.
You have a deal. Thank you.
Don't trust the quartermaster. And watch yourself around the scrapyard. It's a dangerous place.
Okay, dem Quartiermeister sollen wir nicht vertrauen. Und der Schrottplatz ist gefährlich.
Gia.
The man leans forward, grabbing my arm and pulling me in close out of earshot of his wife.
Do not bring any heat back here. If you risk the safety of my family, then you can consider your car lost for good.
Also er scheint schon ein bisschen was zu sagen zu haben.
Here. This address used to house a friend of the rats. It's empty now. Use it to lie low if you can't help yourself from getting into trouble.
Alex releases his stone grip and a slip of paper into my hand. Nellie takes his quick, hushed intercession as a desperate request for success.
We'll get everything you need. I promise.
Poor kid. She has no idea.
Gut, finde den Quartiermeister auf dem Schrottplatz. Sprechen können wir jetzt auch nochmal mit denen, aber das führt, glaube ich, zu nichts. Die fragen dann wahrscheinlich nur, ob wir die Teile gefunden haben. Gut. Büro des Schrottplatz-Quartiermeisters, dem wir nicht vertrauen sollen.
We're stopped at a checkpoint manned by White Street officers whose sneers are tighter than their uniforms. I get the feeling these are no shift-clocking schlubs. All whitecaps stink like rotten pork, but these ones seem to be wrapped in fancier dumplings.
Who are they?
If I had to guess, White Street Intelligence. General Eli's secret police.
Oh boy.
You said it. Just keep cool. After a moment of tense quiet, they wave us through.
All right, move along.
Apparently, we're not the particular field mice these hawks are hunting for, and I'm not about to give them a second chance to swoop. As we burn Aether and leave them behind, I let out a breath I didn't realize I'd been holding.
Whew. I hope that won't be a problem on the way back.
So den einen oder anderen Kampf würde ich jetzt schon ganz gerne nochmal bestreiten.
the lifeblood of White Street is industrial refuse, then the scrapyard is its beating heart. From his steel parapet overlooking the yard, the quartermaster governs this realm of rubble with determination.
Was haben wir denn hier?
The main lot is in constant noisy motion, a cacophony of combustion engines and sparking steel. When you look past the grime, it's a place of ferocious efficiency and discipline.
Da sehen wir noch was.
I spot a
Wasserfilter.
crate of water filter parts inside the quartermaster's office. Can't lift him while he's standing there, though.
Ja, vielleicht müssen wir den irgendwie ablenken.
Like his scrapyard, the quartermaster's in a perpetual state of activity. Maybe a nice turkey club once in a while might have resulted in fewer gray hairs for the old soldier. Not while he's here.
Okay, wir müssen irgendwie da rein.
The quartermaster is a decorated veteran and displays his war memorabilia with pride. Strikes me as odd. From what I've heard about the Philippines, wouldn't you want to forget?
Gut, dann sprechen wir mal mit dem Quartiermeister Theodor Lutzko.
The quartermaster would have a friendly, likable face if it wasn't lined with the stress and fatigue of a lifetime of devotion to Eli. It's clear as we approach he's neglecting 7 other things by talking to us. Sergeant Major Lutzko, I'm Gia Rendazzo, and this is Nellie.
Pleasure, girls. Sorry about the state of things around here. I don't often host such fine company. What brings you to the scrapyard?
It's a pleasure to meet you as well. You see,
Just a few minutes of your time, then we'll get out of your hair. Sir, how do you get along with the Aethoniers in White Street?
They keep to their own, mostly. That's fine by me. Why?
well, they're not getting the supplies they need to survive, you see.
And you're what? They're lawyers or something?
Okay, Aufsehen. Manche Aktivitäten erregen Aufsehen. Großes Aufsehen ist besser bei Prüfungen von Stärketalenten und schlechter für Listtalente. Bei geringem Aufsehen ist es genau umgekehrt. Durch großes Aufsehen erscheinen außerdem mehr Gegner bei Kämpfen. Okay, wir müssen jetzt kämpfen, oder wie?
His eyelid twitches. He's getting impatient already.
Okay, da haben wir nur eine mittlere Möglichkeit. Geh erstmal auf die Anwälte
You
ein.
deal with a lot of lawyer types.
There are Aethonier lawyers? Do they go to law school? Can they go to law school? What sort of law do they practice?
The sneaky kind, sweetheart. Yes, the rats have pet snakes, and thankfully, no, we don't get a lot of them up here. They're nothing but trouble.
Oh.
Burrowed into their libraries of theirs, poring over contracts, looking for loopholes, taking advantage of the system, making a lot of red tape and wasted time for people like me.
He scowls. I decide it's best we ease off. Well, that's just what we want to avoid. Forget I said anything.
Nur nach Eli
So I
fragen.
take it you served with General Tillinghast, is that right? Where were you posted?
Yeah, the Philippines. Tough tour. Wouldn't have made it without the general. Saved my sorry hide more times than I care to count. Ah, but you don't want to hear about all that.
I think you must have been very brave to do what you did. And it's plain to see you and the General are very close. He's lucky to have you around, I think.
You're sweet as a Georgia peach, ain't you? Thanks, Missy. He's an extraordinary man. A real visionary, you know?
And what's he envisioning for White Street exactly?
The General's been beating back the Huns at our gates for as long as anyone can remember. You mark my words, ladies. These islands will never fall. And one day they'll be shinier than the heights.
Die Hunnen, okay. Das war wahrscheinlich einfach nur so ein Bild.
Stars fill the old soldier's eyes, a proud stiffness rejuvenating his weary frame. Talking about his boss transforms him into a younger and more zealous figure. It's almost
Okay,
tender,
wir können
in
jetzt
a
zum Punkt
strange,
kommen
skin-crawling kind of way.
oder uns weiterhin charmant zeigen. Wir versuchen uns mal einzuschmeicheln.
Look, you whitecaps are all about honor, right? You understand what an oath is. We made a promise to help these people, and we intend to keep
Kläglich
it.
gescheitert.
Sorry, girls. Times are tough all around. And I don't got nothing against the rats, but if I just start giving stuff away, what's next? Sparkling water? Topside privileges? Extra rations? No can do.
All right, well, thanks anyway.
No. I'm afraid that won't cut it, sir. These people need help. There must be something you can do.
I expect the kid's outburst to earn us a stern reprimand. Instead, I watch as her plea melts the walls of ice built up around the old man's heart. He regains his businesslike manner, but too late. We've seen through the facade.
Ah, jeez. Look, you want to help so bad? Maybe you can help me. I got this thorn in my side. A scrapper bandit on the lowest levels who thinks he can edge in on White Street territory. Calls himself a king, if you can believe that. You can find all sorts of useful stuff down the beanstalk. Water filtration parts, even. I'd be happy to let you down there to have a look. So long as you report back to me with good news about my scrapper problem. Capiche?
It's as good a deal as we're likely to get. The kid looks to me, and I try not to let my poker face slide. You see many scrappers up here?
Oh yeah. Trash like that floats up from the burrows all the time.
I've read about them.
I'm sure you have, sweetheart, but what the books won't tell you is those animals have lost the ability to reason, sometimes even to speak. Amazes me they can steer a car in a straight line.
I think of the grit and sunlight and desperate optimism of my childhood, back in the burrows, and the haze of nostalgia threatens to overwhelm my hard-earned calm. I bite my tongue and sour iron fills my mouth. We'll keep an eye out. Thank you for your time, sir.
Yeah, thanks for dropping by, ladies.
With a forced smile, he picks up a clipboard and walks off, shouting orders down at machine operators, and leaving us to look out over the yard alone. The gangway behind us squeals under a heavy step, and I turn to see a black-clad stiff trying to pass us a counterfeit smile. He puts down a half-drunk carton of milk and goose steps into our path, ever so politely blocking our exit.
Good afternoon. Intelligence Officer Randall Pitt. And you are?
His feet are welded to the iron below, and the pins on his jacket identify him as one of the highest-ranking hogs in the White Street pen. There's no moving this one unless he wants to move. Gia Randazzo, and this is my sister, Nell.
A pleasure, madams. And what, may I ask, is the purpose of your meeting with Quartermaster Lutzko today?
What's it to you, Mac? The officer's eyes flick upward, scanning my face with the practiced arrogance of a bully who's never had to throw a single punch. I return his gaze with a frosted steel stare of my own.
Miss Randazzo, was it? Just a few questions and you can be on your way. No need for you to escalate this.
His reptilian eyes flick from me to Nellie, greedily drinking in her details. This one's the type to seek out power and authority purely as an excuse to start fires wherever he wants. And he's oily enough to be a hazard around any open flame. We were just hoping Lutzko could help us find something.
And what is it you're hoping to find?
Excuse me, but don't you think that's a bit personal?
Okay. Lügen abwinken.
It was a waste of time. We changed our minds anyhow.
Ah, of course. That's too bad. Anyway, listen to me prattle on. I get flustered when faced with such ravishing beauty, you see. For sisters, you don't look that much alike. Do people tell you that often?
Oh, he's loving this. Savoring every second like we're a pair of potato knish, fresh out of the oven. Which means, of course, he's about to bite.
I trust a pair of such good little New York girls would promptly report it if they were made aware of any illicit activity on the part of Sergeant Major Lutzko. Correct?
What do you mean, illicit?
Oh, you know, illegal, wrong, things that would demand a transfer of leadership here into more capable hands. Anything he shouldn't be doing.
How would I know what he should or shouldn't be doing? His smile flashes in and out of existence so quick, you could argue it never happened. In an instant, his officious familiarity vanishes.
How charming. Now, you and your sister can testify to what you know, or we can take this up with General Tillinghast. Your choice.
Doesn't take a genius to figure Lutz goes into something dirtier than his own soot-stained uniform. I share a look with Nellie, whose sparkling eyes are relying on me to navigate us out of these shark-infested waters.
Okay. Nach den anschuldigen
What's he in
Fragen.
trouble for, anyway?
Treason, malfeasance, embezzlement. Supplies deemed vital to the war effort have disappeared, only to be found later on the black market or in the possession of degenerates.
He didn't need to specify which degenerates he was referring to. Apparently rats wasn't cruel enough.
The punishment for which is death, of course, by grounding.
Grounding? Is that...
Yeah, kid. The long drop and the sudden stop.
It's justice, my dear. Traitors pay their deficit in loyalty with blood.
I'll tell you what I don't know. Why I've never met you before. Promoted recently?
Na, ich glaube, das war jetzt nicht so die richtige
A
Wahl.
hungry look comes over him, like a fox delighted by the rabbit who dares to fight back.
I pride myself on subtlety, my dear. Nobody knows I'm around, unless I want them to.
How nice for us. He's inching closer, and his military-issue aftershave doesn't do much to mask the fetid milk stink of his breath. I maintain the distance between us. Not rude, but not too subtle either. He squints, unsmiling.
Milchgeruch. Also sie hatte, glaube ich, Aftershave erwähnt.
Let's get back to the topic at hand, shall we?
Dumm stellen, Lohn verlangen.
Seems to me it'd be some work to get to the bottom of whatever Lutz goes into. And I don't work for free. The officer's eyes flash, like a jaguar recognizing another predator in the underbrush.
A woman of commerce. Yes, very good. If you cooperate, I can assure you my office will be more than capable of furnishing you with whatever reward you're looking for.
That's what I like to hear. If I find anything out, you'll be the first to know.
I shall hold you to it. This was a distinct pleasure, ladies. Till we meet again.
Goodbye.
Irgendwie so ein bisschen unlogisch, dass wir ihn zum ersten Mal treffen und er uns direkt die Mission gibt, über Lutzko ja irgendwas aufzudecken.
He peels himself out of
Und
our
er ist ja
path as slowly and
Geheimdienstoffizier,
painfully as
ne?
an overglued bandage on a fresh wound. With a final, colorless smile, he turns towards the quartermaster's office. Inside, Lutzko spots him, and the old man's Adam's apple bounces like a kid on a trampoline.
Oh, yeah. Aber da kommen wir ja nicht rein, ne?
I don't think I like that Officer Pitt very much.
That's only because you've got working eyes and ears. Stay away from him, all right?
You don't have to tell me twice.
Still, seems to me we've got options.
We do?
Well, whether we play it the Quartermaster's way, or throw him under Pitt's repulsors, you and I still come out with the parts for Alexander and Maria.
I see. But what'll happen to the scrapyard if the Quartermaster's arrested by White Street Intelligence?
You never know. Let's Go seems all right, but he's not exactly running a tight ship here. With someone like Pitt in charge, the Aetherians might get more reliable supplies.
Lutzko scheint in Ordnung zu sein, aber er führt hier nicht gerade ein strenges Regiment. Mit jemandem wie Pitt an der Spitze könnten die Ätherier zuverlässiger das Nötige bekommen. Mag ich zu bezweifeln, also... Da Maria hat ja gesagt, dass er gar nicht so übel ist, dieser Quartiermeister. Und jetzt auch im Dialog kam der mir ein bisschen korrekter vor als dieser Geheimdienstoffizier.
But then the restrictions imposed on them may get even worse. Boy, there aren't any easy answers in the lowers, are there?
You catch on fast for an academic. Do you understand what the old man's asking us to do?
Well, sure. Head down the beanstalk, find the parts we need, and ask this King Scrapper to respect the Quartermaster's territory, right?
Ask? No. We won't be asking. I pat my sidearm, and the color drains from her face.
Wait, I know this is a rough neighborhood, but surely, can't we reason with him?
Ja, da haben wir halt jetzt auch wieder ein Problem. Jetzt sollen wir für den Quartiermeister jemanden aus dem Weg schaffen. Das finde ich halt auch nicht so gut. Echt schwierig, die Entscheidung, also...
You don't know the boroughs like I do, kid. Down there, you don't become a scrapper unless you got no other choice. And if this one is edging into White Street turf, then he's really desperate.
But we can't just... I mean...
If he gives me a chance to say hello before he starts shooting, we'll give him a fair shake, okay? But I can't promise anything. This is the job. This...
Isn't the Heights, yes, right, I know. This all just takes some getting used to, you know?
Okay.
Just out of reach.
Gut, dann gehen wir mal zu White Street und dann haben wir wahrscheinlich einen neuen Spot hier, den wir betreten können. Hier ist Schrottplatz. Liberty Auto. Moment, gehen wir nach unten. Schrottplatz. Sind zwar nicht Cress, aber selbst der schlampigste Hobbyschrauber in New York ist besser als jeder durchschnittliche Automechaniker. Wir brauchen jetzt noch keinen Automechaniker. So, Gefahr hoch. Oh. Okay.
The busted chunk of an island's underside rusts in the sun, laying precariously on a crushed tenement building. Broken detritus and snapped cabling hangs down close to the street.
Gut, dann würde ich sagen, wir beenden die Episode an der Stelle und in der nächsten Episode betreten wir dann diesen Schrottplatz und schauen mal, was uns dort erwartet. Ich sage vielen, vielen Dank fürs Zuschauen, habt noch einen schönen Tag und ja, gerne Like hinterlassen, Kommentar hinterlassen und dann sehen wir uns gleich wieder in der nächsten Episode. Bis dann, ciao.